Welcome to a video on the fine print of detailing. I'm at Chicago Auto Pros in Lombard, Illinois. This is kind of the hub for all the hardcore enthusiasts that need to get their car cleaned or protected. In this case, Jack Singapore has a brand new Grand Sport, and it's a good time to show what goes into paint protection film, ceramic coatings, washing. So let's get started.
I'm Jason, part owner of Chicago Auto Pros.
So give me a little bit of background on how this all started.
It started probably about 15 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. I was working at a car wash. I was a salesman there, and I was working a couple jobs at the same time. And I had some friends and family members ask me to detail their cars. And I had a manager back then that was nice enough to let me do it after work. And I detailed their cars, and while I was detailing one of their cars, I had this brainstorm of idea. I was like, I could do this. I could go to people's work. I can go to their jobs, their offices. It was just one of those moments where it just hit me. It's like, I need to do this, and I know I want to do this. And it never left my brain. And I started up, and I did mobile detailing in Atlanta, Georgia for 4 years. Loved what I did there. Me and my wife had a kid, and her family's from Chicago here, so I ended up moving to Chicago. Worked as a manager for a car wash for a while, and I met my now business partner Greg, and we started Chicago Auto Pros probably about 7 years ago.
Now, I talked about this with you when we first met. A lot of the people that are in my close circle, we like to drive, we like to enjoy our vehicles, but we don't want to be spending weekends or weeks in the garage doing a 20-step paint correction.
Yeah.
So how would you sell a package to somebody that's like, well, I don't value having this ultra clean car. I just want to take it to a car wash, an unlimited car wash, and just, how do you deal with people like me in those types of groups?
Everybody has different values, I guess, you know. Some people don't mind bringing their cars to the car washes, or they don't mind swirls or scratches. Everybody's a little different on their mentality of what they need. There's plenty of customers in here who just want, you know what, I don't want to think about it. I'm getting ceramic coating because I'm going to take it to the car washes. I'm not going to wax it. I just don't want to think about it. Put the coating on there for 2 years, and I'm going to just do what I do. And then we got other customers who want their cars perfect all the time. And they come in here, they want perfect correction, they want the ceramic coating, they want the clear bra, and they want everything done, and they want it as perfect as possible. So yeah, it's a balancing act between those two types of customers. And again, that's why every customer that comes in here, one of the first questions we ask them is, what are you looking to do? What's your intentions with this? And what are your expectations? Because that's important to find out what their expectations are, because that gives us a better sense of how we're going to tackle the car, or what we're going to do to detail. Because we want to suggest exactly what they need. We're not going to give them more than what they need.
I made it out in the shop with you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And there is a lot going on here. So instead of me just stumbling, show me each area and give me a breakdown of all the action.
Little tour, come on. Everything starts in the prep bay. This is where all the cars are prepped and washed before they get window tinted, paint protection film, or detailing. So this is built out. This is nice. In our last shop, we only had one wash bay, so now we have 2 bays in here that we can wash 2 cars at the same time. A lot of times we're doing detailing preps and we're doing wash at the same time. A lot of times the detailing prep will take an hour, hour and a half, and we might have a car wash come in, so that's nice to have 2 bays. We have a hanging system here, so we have all our chemicals right at our dispensing, you know, right at our hands, so we don't have to mix chemicals. Everything's right there. You don't have to find bottles, so that's nice. Everything gets prepped here. That's what we did with the Corvette. Prepped it, washed it, decontaminated it, used the clay bar to get all the embedded particles off the surface before we put the film on.
And I saw in that back room, I saw your washer dryer, all your chemicals, and I saw a gentleman over here cleaning off each individual pad. I'm just trying to get at some of the attention to detail that goes in here, because you see, oh, the car is clean, but all the little steps that go into making sure your products that you're using are good, and even the stuff that's going to be touching the surface has to be as clean as possible as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we're polishing cars, we got to make sure we have clean pads. So yeah, we clean everything. Towels. You want to see the room?
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
So storage room facility, we got air compressor, we have our pressure washers here, and then we have our mixing chamber here. That's where all these chemicals are concentrated, and they go out into all the bays and into the prep bay here too. So wanted everything in this room just so we can have it halfway quiet out there, you know, usually with the droning of the air compressor goes on for a while. We still got vacuum, still got air, you still got that, so we got a little bit of that going on. But yeah, that's where we do all the laundry. Separate bathroom for the employees.
I see your Kranzels up here.
Yep.
I'm sure Matt from Obsessed Garage would be touching himself to that.
Yeah, these are great actually, because you know, we got a big pressure washer at the other shop, and it's just big, stupid, and loud.
Okay.
And these are so nice because they're quiet, they're easy. It's just enough pressure for us to do what we need to do. It's not overloading and everything. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, very nice. After everything gets prepped, this is where it starts. It'll come into one of our detail bays here, and we have actually 5 separate detail bays where we do interior detailing and then all of our prep and paint correction. So for instance, we did the Corvette, we're gonna do film on it. It came here first. We did paint correction, polished it, and get it ready for the film guys.
Okay.
And again, we have dispensing systems in each of these bays too.
In terms of labor, what is the most labor-intensive process here in terms of time? Is it the polishing area, the paint correction part?
Yeah, paint correction definitely. There's different levels of paint correction, and there's different expectations for every customer. Okay. You know, if you want perfect paint correction, it might take 10, 15, 20 hours on certain cars, and depending on the type of car and the type of paint, you know, if you have really soft paint, it can be finicky, and you can spend, you know, if you're trying to get it perfect, you're trying to make it perfect and polish it out, and you're going section by section with a flashlight.
Yeah.
It can take a while.
Is there a certain manufacturer that has softer paint versus the other certain brands?
Yeah, your Teslas, your Porsches, Subarus, Hondas, they all have soft paint.
Soft clear.
And then your German cars, your BMWs, your Mercedes, they usually typically have a harder clear coat.
Okay.
American cars are usually right in the middle. Love working on American cars.
Is one harder than the other to deal with, or more time consuming than the other?
So when you're dealing with hard paint, if you have scratches in hard paint, it's really hard to polish out because it's hard paint. And then when you have soft paint, it's really easy to scratch the vehicle. So the compounding section on a soft car is relatively quick, and then the polishing part of it is a little longer because it's a little finicky. You have that residue reinduced into the pads, and then you're putting into the paint, and you got these micro swirls that you're trying to deal with. So I much rather deal with a hard paint than a soft paint.
Okay. And a hard paint probably stays better longer. It's a lot easier to avoid scratching from all the usuals.
When you're dealing with soft paints, even these soft microfibers that we have, you'll wipe it, and if you have anything in that microfiber, you'll see that on the soft paint. It just drives you crazy.
So basically, buy a Porsche, or buy a BMW or a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. So obviously, when you see all the washing techniques, all the little paint pieces they put where all the chips are, and all the little manual things they have to do with mixing the paint to try to get the paint matched properly to get that paint surface smooth before they do any wrapping. And then, of course, you go through that whole process and getting things cleaned up, and then you come into a more sealed area, which we're gonna go over with the owner right now. Next is
clean room. So this is one of the biggest things that we need in this shop is a clean room. Detailing's a dirty job with the compound, the dust, the air, the vacuums, and everything going on. So this clean room, we do all the film in, window tint and paint protection film, and this is where all of our coatings are done too. So in the summer when it's humid, it's pretty humid today, all the coatings are affected by the weather, and it causes them to stick. So we actually have this room climate controlled. We have air conditioning in here. So when you come in here, it's nice and easy to do a coating. You're not fighting dust or debris or anything with the film. Same with the window tint.
okay. Yeah. Excellent.
And again, this room, bright as possible. Lights on the walls, lights on the ceiling. You can see on the walls here, these are peel boards. So when guys do window tint, they can put the film on there, peel it back. You can see he's putting his film on right there.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So this is window tinting?
Window tint, yep. So window tint's a film that goes on the inside of the car for privacy. Also heat rejection, UV rejection. So we do a lot of vehicles.
How many do you, so obviously today we've seen like 4 or 5 or 6 cars in here.
Yep.
Typically when you're booked, how many do you have going in and out? How long does it take to do like typically like this NSX?
Right, a typical job is 2 to 3 to 4 hours, some in there. And we have 3 guys, so we can do 6, 7 cars a day.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. Yep.
So somebody that's doing this, they wouldn't have to have their car gone for, more than like 2 or 3 days if they're just doing like a basic paint protection film and tinting.
Yeah, usually, I mean, if we're doing paint protection film, you're usually in for a day and a half.
Okay.
And we can do window tint in about a half a day.
All right.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a lot of action going on.
That's where the magic happens.
It looks like it. So tell me, what do they have to do to get to this step?
So everything goes into the computer system. We have a computer system that you'll put the make and model of the car in, and it comes out with a pattern. We adjust the pattern for wrapped edges, and then we send it to the plotter. The plotter cuts everything out, and then these guys can prep the hood. They peel off there's a backing plate. There's 2-sided, so you have a sticky side, and then you have the top. So they pull off that backing, and then we can put it on the car. For lubrication, to be able to move the pattern around, they use a solution with baby shampoo and water. And then it's just about tacking, get everything in position, and then they can squeegee everything out. And then, like a big sticker, it sticks to the vehicle.
Okay. So right now they have it in place.
Yep.
They've sprayed the lube underneath, and they're massaging it with their squeegee devices to get all the soap and air as much as possible out from underneath.
Yep.
So where there's the overlapping film that you have built into this template, how does the rolling process go? Like, do they use a utility knife? How do they get it to roll under smoothly?
No, they'll do it by hand. So we want to wait probably 3 to 4 hours for all that solution to dry, so everything's nice and sticky and tack. And then we can roll everything under to tack to that under edge.
Okay.
And then it'll be like it's invisible.
Interesting. So the steam gun, which I'm assuming that's a steam gun?
Yep, that's the steamer.
That is the steamer. So typically I use that like on my underwear and my jeans to get them nice and crisp. But this is that just to heat it up to get the soap and the air out, or is it to make the film pliable?
Yep, make the film pliable. So just like, you got curves and you got edges on this, you're putting a flat piece of film on it, so you want it to conform to that film, and this is gonna make it pliable so he can squeegee everything out and it'll sit nice and flush.
So just looking at this and the level of complexity, I would assume with certain cars, now these guys have been doing it forever, but what's the potential issues that you're gonna see or you have seen from other installers that don't do this right?
The biggest thing that we see is dust and debris in the film. In order, that the prep is the most important part. You wanna make sure everything's off the car. You wanna work in a clean room where you don't have any debris or any dust flying around. That's a huge issue. And then getting full coverage. A lot of people are gonna do the job, whatever takes them the fastest to do it, and this takes a little longer to do the edges like this, to wrap all the edges, to really make sure you get that quality job and you don't see all the edges in the clear bra. You're seeing them do the edge right now. They could easily do a relief cut there, and it'd be a lot easier for them to install if they had a relief cuff instead of fighting that crack. But they're gonna take the time, and they're gonna squeeze all that water and all that air out of that crack so it looks perfectly seamless and you're not gonna see anything there.
Okay, so that's kind of the point, is to make this as optically clear as possible so you can't see that the foam is there.
Yeah. Like anything, there's shortcuts that you can take, but if you take them, the end result is not gonna be...
Is good. It's like you're trying to make this as perfect as possible, basically.
Exactly. That's pretty much it.
That's it. How long does it take after you put the film on where it can be, does it have to, like the bubbles have to dry out or like evaporate after a while? Or?
Yeah, the moisture is going to dry out from the film. I mean, so that's why we like to keep it overnight.
Gotcha.
Usually we like to lay the film and then do the edges the next day just to make sure everything is in place where it should be. And then typically we're doing a ceramic coating afterwards, so it's going to stay here for a couple days. And about 2 weeks, everything will fully cure. So every time a customer leaves here, we tell them, hey, 2 weeks, we wash the car for free after they come back, just so we can check everything and make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. If there's any bubbles or anything that we missed or we have to redo, we'll do it at that point.
Okay. Do you ceramic coat the film?
Yes.
So is that optional or do you just do it by default?
It's optional, I mean, but you do want to take care of the film like you would your paint, so you can wax it, paint sealant, ceramic coat it, whatever you want to do there.
So I was just thinking about this, and we talk about it a lot, the fallbacks, or the drawbacks rather, of doing something like this. And I just thought, well, I'm gonna come in here and spend 3 G's on a film, I'm gonna ceramic coat the film, and then I gotta take care of it like paint in some regards, and then I go out and I go curb it in the Arby's drive-thru getting 5 for 5 beef and cheddars. So now I'm gonna have to replace the part, get it repainted, and have it rewrapped. So that could be very costly to do that. Would insurances cover the film, or would you have to go do that out of pocket?
Insurance will cover both paint protection film and ceramic coatings to have that redone.
All right, cool.
Yep, absolutely.
That's good to know. And you mentioned you use a baby shampoo to grease under the film. What, do you have a brand preference for baby shampoo?
Johnson & Johnson.
Really? Okay.
Does anybody else make baby shampoo?
I don't know. I didn't know if there was a special formulation you guys mix here.
Just Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, it doesn't have any dyes or anything, solvents in it, so.
Okay. And it's probably safe on your guys' hands and scalp.
It's safe for babies. It's safe for everybody, right?
All right. The vet looks pretty satisfactory with that wrap on there now, or the paint protection film. So your guys are now rubbing it with a sponge. What's going on?
They're putting on a ceramic coating. This is kind of the final step. A ceramic coating's kind of like a long-term wax. I mean, normal waxes, you've heard of them, last 2 to 3 months. This is kind of like a wax on steroids. It's going to last 2 to 3 years and protect the paint and protect the paint protection film.
Okay, so this is actually going on top of the film. What is really the benefit of doing that? I mean, is this...
Just like a wax, it's going to protect the paint from bird droppings or anything on there. It's going to make it easier to wash. Maintenance is a breeze with a coating on there. The water is very hydrophobic and it just falls right off. It's going to stay cleaner for longer. You know, when you have your car waxed, it does stay cleaner for longer. And those are the main benefits.
Okay, so clearly there's probably about 60,000 different ceramic coatings.
There's a lot out there.
Why would you, so what's your take on this? I mean, there's obviously cheaper ones, more expensive ones. What are you really getting out of it?
The coatings have thickness to them, so the thicker coatings are more durable. I mean, there are coatings that claim that they'll last anywhere from 5 to 10. There are some lifetime warranty coatings out there. But we've tried a lot of different coatings, and the coatings that we have and that we use in the shop they stand the test of time.
So you said it stands the test of time. You know the products that have worked. So as a customer, how do I know when the coating's not working properly?
Yeah, it's a good question. The biggest key is that it's still hydrophobic. You know, anytime you have a wax or a coating on there, you see that hydrophobic property of the water beating up and bouncing off the car.
Is there a bead size specifically of the water that you can tell, or is it just?
Not really, no. But what you can tell is, over time, we recommend once a year to do a coating maintenance. You can still get stuff that will stick to the exterior of your car. You know, you have brake dust, iron particles, sap, tar, all that stuff can still stick to the car, and it's not going to come off with normal washing because that can disturb the hydrophobic properties. So that's why we recommend once a year we'll do Iron X and we'll do a light clay bar treatment, and that'll usually get everything off the surface of the car, and then you'll see the hydrophobicness come back to the coating.
So basically every year you want to do some type of maintenance on it, and then probably about the 2-year mark you probably want to have it polished and then reapplied.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 2 to 3 year coating that we're putting on there, BCO8. They have some longer term coatings where they're 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
And depending on how you maintain or how you care for the car, if you're washing it properly, you know, it'll last that long. And
have you seen the coatings last 5 to 7 years?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm assuming those are probably people that really care for it properly too.
Yeah, we've been doing coatings for 5 years now, and we still see cars come back that look great.
Okay, so it's not just snake oil. As long as it's done properly, you're using the right products.
Yeah, but we have seen some cars too that come back in 2 years and they're destroyed because they're not washing them properly, not taking care of them. Okay. Everything is maintenance. You take care of it, and it'll take care of your car.
All right, that was a good explanation, but now it's time to get into applying the ceramic coating. So walk me through the labor process of doing that.
Yes. So they polish it first. They got any scratches or sore marks out. We wanted the car to look its best before we put on a coating. Wipe it down with an alcohol solution to remove any polishes, waxes. We want to make sure that coating adheres to the paint. We want it perfectly naked in a sense to do it. And then they're going to apply the coating. And this is a pretty simple process. They're going to apply it into sections, 2x2 or 3x3 sections of the coating. Wipe it on. It has a flash time. You actually see it kind of turn rainbow color. And then they'll wipe it off with a couple microfibers and make sure they get all of the excess residue off.
Okay, so how does it differ than putting on a traditional wax?
Yeah, normal wax, I mean, you have a little, you can do bigger sections and you have no adverse effects if you're gonna leave it on there for 20 minutes or so. You can just wipe it off. With a coating, you can actually have high spots if you don't wipe it off in time, which it's very difficult to remove. You actually have to compound and polish it off if you have one of those high spots.
So we're done with the Grand Sport Corvette at Chicago Auto Pros. We had a paint correction, we had paint protective film, and of course the ceramic coating. And I'm even excited about this. It's not even my own car.
This is the best part, to come out here and see the shine.
It's to see the finished product, right?
Yep.
So how many people come back because they're so happy with this and they're repeat customers?
Absolutely. You know, once they have this work done and they're able to drive a clean car like this and it's protected and the ease of maintenance, a lot of times they're bringing their second car back or their third car or cars that they buy next.
Okay. So what do we have to do to this now that it's all done?
Maintenance is relatively easy. You're going to wash it like normal. I recommend 1 or 2 times a week. The Clear Bra has a 10-year warranty on it. So if there's anything that goes wrong, if you see an edge peeling or something, we can trim it or replace that section.
Sweet.
So you have that peace of mind there.
Good. So the main takeaway of this, obviously with the fine print videos, this is kind of at a higher level. Usually we go more in depth, like more technical. So in the future videos, we're going to talk more about paint correction, all the things that go along with that, and probably use my S2000 since the paint is pretty horrific. And we're going to get into the step-by-step process of that, but the takeaway for me is you're a local business to me, Chicagoland. Everybody's like, why do you live in Chicago? It sucks here, move to California, move to Florida, and that's obviously not realistic for some of us. So if you're in this area and you really want quality work done by somebody that sacrificed a lot to build this business, and obviously a lot of business owners will tell you that, but I can see it with you. You're genuine. You guys are not trying to push shit on people or push products on people that they don't need it.
Right.
So this was a really good experience to me, and I look forward to seeing more of their input on future videos, even with press cars when we're talking about paint.
Absolutely, I'm gonna do it for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mark.
Take care. See you guys next time.
Savage Geese, yet another notification. Do you know how rich I am? Are you not hearing me? We unfriend, we unsubscribe. Get it done. I'm rich. Why is this a problem?